Good evening on Front Page. A decade into the AI boom, we are watching two radically different bets on how humans will meet AI. Microsoft is giving Copilot a face, Mico, an expressive voice forward avatar with, well, a Clippy Easter egg and a slate of social, memory, and browser native actions. OpenAI is doing the opposite, clinging to the Mac with Atlas, its AI browser, and Sky, a macOS native action layer, turning ChatGPT into an invisible operating service that quietly reads context and gets things done. Another clear signal of Microsoft's trust first posture came this week. Mustafa Suleiman, CEO of Microsoft AI, told CNBC that Copilot support any pornographic or erotic content. What he called is this simulated erotica, end quote. That's not just, well, a service we are going to provide. Other companies will build that, end quote. Mustafa Suleiman, this is actually a sharp contrast to OpenAI, whose CEO, Sam Altman, recently reaffirmed the company's stance to, well, treat adult users as adults, end quote, signaling that ChatGPT will allow verified users to generate erotic content in the future. Meanwhile, Elon Musk's XAI has already introduced NSFW modes for Grok Imagine and its AI avatar Ani, and startups like Replica and Character. AI continue to dominate the AI companion market. The AI sex tech market itself is projected to hit $5.4 billion by 2033. The move underscores Microsoft's positioning: emotionally accessible AI with strict ethical guardrails, very different from the open experimentation happening at OpenAI and XAI. And if you want to, well, explore more, we have covered this extensively here on Front Page. Make sure to check it out, even, well, if you haven't already, and we wonder why you're doing that. Anyway, back to Microsoft's thesis. Emotion is a feature. Give AI a presence that listens, reacts, and reassures. OpenAI's thesis: invisibility is power. Put AI inside the places where intent originates, which is the browser, the operating system, and let design craft do the talking. Both want the same end state: own the starting point of user intent, the moment where actually you think, click, or speak. And now, what shipped? Well, Mico, Copilot's optional face, animates mood, changes color, and reacts in real time in voice mode. This is, of course, in the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom to start with. A few taps will unlock the Clippy throwback. Yes, Satya said it, and this is what he said. Clippy is back, end quote. What changed under the hood? This is what it is. Groups up to 32, multi-user, shared chats with, well, summarization, tasking, and brainstorming. Learn live. Socratic tutoring with voice, visuals, and a whiteboard. Copilot for health: grounded, cited guidance plus provider finding by speciality/language. Memory and personalization: long-term recall you can actually edit or delete. Connectors: search across OneDrive, Outlook, Gmail, Drive, Calendar, well, with consent gates, of course. Edge as an AI browser. See, summarize tabs, compare information, and take actions, which is book, fill forms with opt ins, of course. Journeys: reconstruct past browsing into task threads. The bet: an approachable, human centered assistant. Mustafa Suleiman's phrasing, not ours, that blends warmth with agency, and lives across Windows, Edge, and Microsoft's cloud. The risk, this is what it is. Anthropomorphic assistance can actually veer from delightful to distracting. Microsoft insists Mico is optional, memory is user controlled, and real talk aims for helpful pushback without, sycophancy. Atlas isn't a sidebar. It's actually an AI browser built to make ChatGPT the first surface, not Google. It launches on Mac first with Windows, iOS, Android next. But the message is quite clear: craft over coverage. Sky, via the acquisition of Software Applications Incorporated, brings deep Mac OS integration, a natural language layer that actually sees your screen and acts in your apps. It's actually the same design first instinct many associate with Jony Ive. The style craft, minimal UI, maximum context, invisible assistance. What does this actually enable? Memory that fuses browsing plus ChatGPT history, opt-in of course, to recall docs, plans, and tasks. Hover writing assistant in text fields. App SDK to call apps from ChatGPT. Headless browsing control for agents. Multi-site referencing inside a chat. The distribution logic. Owning the browser, which is Atlas, and OS level actions, Sky reduces dependence on gatekeepers. Example, platforms that can actually throttle third-party bots and puts ChatGPT closest to intent. What is the trade-off? Atlas ships without classic browser amenities, which is VPN, ad block, reader mode. That's actually, deliberate. OpenAI's priority is ChatGPT orchestration, not another Chrome clone. The tighter integration envelope. What does that mean? Mac OS APIs and consistent hardware let OpenAI craft a smoother, AI in your desktop loop for early adopters, which is creators, developers, researchers. The clean design story, clearly a controlled surface to refine Atlas slash Sky before scaling. The channel independence, fewer conflicts than shipping deep OS features first on a platform stewarded by OpenAI's largest cloud partner. What is the user fit? The Mac audience over indexes on toolchain experimentation and premium UX, ideal for seeding behavioral change, ChatGPT as default surface. So basically, the two roads to the same destination. Microsoft is building a friendly companion that acts across your system with enterprise grade guardrails and a browser that can actually do things for you. OpenAI is building a very quiet operator that absorbs context and executes inside a premium operating system and a purpose-built browser. Different aesthetics, same ambition. Become the universal action layer, the place you start and the system that finishes. Let's, look at Microsoft's angle. It is Copilot plus Edge equals agentic workflows that actually meet corporate controls, identity, DLP, audit. Connectors unify content under explicit consent. Groups makes AI collaborative. Mico humanizes adoption in frontline support and training contexts. OpenAI's angle. This is what it is. Atlas standardizes the canvas where ChatGPT agents read, reason, and act. Sky accelerates on-device actions, write, summarize, orchestrate apps with minimal UI. App SDK hints at a new developer surface. Build for the assistant, not just the app, end quote. So, what's the bottom line? Microsoft is offering a governed, familiar path to scale. OpenAI is offering, a frictionless, assistant-first runtime. Many shops will trial both. Consumerization will pull Atlas, well, and Sky in. Policy will anchor Copilot slash Edge. Finally, Microsoft believes AI should look you in the eye, warm, social, and ready to act across your digital life. OpenAI believes AI should fade into the glass, native, quiet, and closer to your intent rather than any tab or toolbar. Google, well, wants to defend the front door, keeping Chrome's 68% market share intact by infusing Gemini directly into the browser layer. Perplexity wants to move fast and own workflows, with Comet acting like an invisible assistant that sits between you and the web. This clearly is no longer just a model war. It's actually a full blown interface war for the first pixel you touch when you wake your screen. Microsoft bets on trust and familiarity. OpenAI bets on precision and craft. Google bets on distribution and inertia. Perplexity bets on speed and simplicity. Clippy smiles. Atlas whispers. Gemini watches. Comet races. And somewhere in the background, the internet's control plane is shifting from search boxes to agentic layers. The winner, well, won't just own your browser, they'll own your intent, your attention, and your daily decisions. And that, my friend, is more than models or chips. That is where the real power lies. AI won't just live on your screen, it'll actually decide which part of the web you even see. And the battle for that power has officially begun. Please do let us know what you think in the comments below because your thoughts are definitely very important to us.